Hello, welcome to the Peter Repeater, episode 43. I've got lots to talk about, obviously. That's why I took a day off, because I thought I would study on the various topics and get some preparedness ready for this podcast. And just it's an action-packed 40 minutes I have lined up for you. And it's going to be superb. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Listen to the podcast. So, why did I take a day off? I just thought that I had how many days did I have in a row? 8 or 9 days in a row, and I know that I can get. Even though it's really easy and you're just talking and there's not much happening, I can get tired. I can get burnout. I can feel like I need to have a rest. And that's why I gave myself a break. And I think it's a good thing that I did, because I obviously back and raring to go. I almost didn't do it today because when you're doing a podcast every day and then you stop, it's very tempting just to stop long term. So I've got to get back on the podcasting, because I want this to happen. I want to have a podcast. I have a podcast, so I don't know. I've already achieved my goals, obviously. Episode 43. Obviously, all my goals are achieved right now in the podcasting sector, and I'm not having an existential crisis and thinking that I'd never want to work again and I need something to do with my life. I'm not thinking that. 22 years of age. I'm thinking I'm going to do this podcast as a hobby. And I'm not going to rely on it. It's not going to be my main source of income. And I'm not just going to do it during this lockdown and hope that I never have to come out of the lockdown. So these are my hopes, my aspirations, and it might happen. I've lost where I'm thinking, because I've started off with a negative, with the sarcasm, and then I lost it, and now I'm just saying, yeah, I don't want to work again. I just wanna focus on things I like and just hope for the best. Yeah, I might get a job that I quite like, and yeah, this hobby is still valuable, so whatever is a win-win, because having that thing to look forward to after work, that is that is valuable, because I've been working, and then I did a little bit of live streaming, bit of Rocket League. I did that, and I just find that made me happy. I had something to look forward to, and I thought, oh, the weekend's great. I've got 3 live streams to do: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Did that every day for a month, and I even started another channel and was playing Switch games for a month. Yeah, so I try different things, and now I'm going more long term with this podcast here. We're not going for a month. We're not going every day for a month. We're taking breaks. We're just keeping it steady and keeping it fresh, and hoping that I can look forward to doing more. And yeah, so on to the topics for today's podcast. Yeah, obviously. Now, the reason I didn't do a podcast yesterday is because I had a bit of a late start to the day, and I spent the day researching cryptocurrency, because I just felt that was the best thing to do. And it's complicated. The addresses and the exchanging and sending and receiving, transaction fees, identification, proof of address. It is head to toe in complexity, algorithms, but it's the future. And I was quite happy today because I bought 320 of something. 320 of something. That sounds like a lot. And it's like this cryptocurrency that's early on, and obviously it might fail, so I didn't invest that much at all. But 320, and they're like worth pennies each. So 320 of them, like what if it turns into thousands of pounds each, like Bitcoin did? Then then I could buy a house. Yeah, it's my happy house face. So that's the hope. Buy a house, don't have to pay rent. That's the ambition here. If I could just, be a bit of a failure for the next 10 years, and then my 320, what is it called? I've forgotten the name already. Cardano? ADA, the abbreviation, Cardano. Yeah, so if that goes skyrocketing, and then I'll trade that 320 to the bank and buy a house. That's the idea. And I've just realised this is a cryptocurrency, because that's what I did yesterday. It's what's on my mind. But I just realised that cryptocurrency is so much more fun than your bank account, because you check your bank account. Although my bank account has got to a bit of a fun stage because it's really quick and easy, and I just use my fingerprint to log in. But now, all of a sudden, I check my wallets, my cryptocurrency wallets, and things go up and down. You can check on it, and it changes. And you haven't spent it. It's great. So it's just a question of so I've invested a little bit in 5 different cryptocurrencies. So I just need one of them to, go crazy. And I was just watching this guy on YouTube. He was like, I'll stop that. Anyway, watch this guy on YouTube, and he was just like, went through the top 50 cryptocurrencies and was going through which ones were good predictions. And this one was the first one I came across where he spoke well of it. This Cardano. So I've got a couple of them, 320 then, and yeah, it's just hope. Apparently it's still in the developmental phase, so things can once they completely decentralize it and get all their smart contracts out there and everything's official, then it can do well, and it's got scalability and everything. So there's just different hopes, isn't there? And then it just might be that in the future I won't be going to the shops with my credit and debit card. I'll be going to the shops with my cryptocurrency, and I'll be sending my cryptocurrency through the till to get stuff. So that's the idea. Just a bit of fun, really. Yeah, so that's the future. Obviously I've watched the videos of how the pandemic and how the currency might get hyperinflation, and cryptocurrency is the future. And after the bank crash of 2008, people have realised that cryptocurrency having a decentralized thing where you can't inflate the amount of money in the system and you can't devalue it. It's just the and it's not controlled by a central governing body, so it's good politically and it's the future and you can rely on it. Maybe I think the problem is just having it being a stable asset, because having a fixed amount means that the value can go up and down based on the demand of money and stuff. That's like a long-term thing, but at the moment, as things are going crazy up and down, as the cryptocurrencies grow, so if the economy crashes and cryptocurrency goes up, I can have something to my name. So that's good. Yeah. And I don't know if I'll be like that guy on YouTube who just reviews the top 50 and it's got all the graphs and is talking about resistances and like lines and predicting whether they're going to skyrocket in value, and looking at the popularity and how many people are buying them, which affects the price, and lots of different figures like that. So he can if he's reviewing 50 and he knows what's going on, he says, oh, when this peak goes up and down, or before it goes down, I'm going to sell it, make a profit. But then there's lots of different strategies. Like, you don't sell all your cryptocurrency. There's like a word called hodl. You keep hodl, or I don't know what hodling is, but assume it's something to do with you save some, you exchange some, you sell some, is the idea, and then you move around so people can get rich, really. And the funny thing is in 10 years ago, if you invested in Bitcoin and stuff like that, you could easily turn £1,000 into £1 million, maybe £1 billion. So that's hopefully what can happen. And I could just maybe keep an eye on it, and then as things go crazy, I can just move my Dash and my Ripple and my Cardano and my Ethereum and my Bitcoin, just move it around a little bit, and then get a little bit of not dollar, but Ripple, Ether, Bitcoin, ADA, Dash, bit of all of it, really. So that's the cryptocurrency talk. That's why I was just cryptocurrency yesterday, and it's a very doing it today as well. So it's a very, very complicated affair, and just kind of hope that it is exciting. And the fact that I haven't got much in savings, maybe I should, but I don't want to risk stuff. I don't know what I'm risking. I'm not really a rich person, but yeah. So this YouTube talking thing I do, there's a video format on the YouTube, and then there's the podcast. And I realised that the podcasting service I use not only has it as an audio format on the app, Anchor.fm, it also distributes it to 10 other podcasts. So I'm hoping that I get some, not eyeballs, but get some listeners, and hopefully direct them to, well, they don't need to get directed, they can just listen to the audio form. So if you're listening, I appreciate your listening, and it's on so many different podcasts, like Apple Cast, Google Cast, all these other ones, and TuneIn and radio stuff. It's on all these things. So if you're listening, I don't know what you're listening on, but if you're watching, I know it's YouTube. And either way, it's either my voice or my face. So That's a good thing. Yeah. So, also, I have been watching basketball, The Last Dance, which is about the last season that Chicago Bulls won, and it's a really, really good season. And it's got all these stories about the basketball players, and it's got all the people you would ever like to talk to, and it's really great. You hear young Scottie Pippen, and then it cuts to old Scottie Pippen, and then it's young Michael Jordan, old Michael Jordan, and then you've got all these coaches and the whole squad. So the first episode was pretty much just about Michael Jordan, and the second episode was about Scottie Pippen, but a lot of Michael Jordan as well. There's an overriding theme there. And then the third episode was about Daniel Rodman, who was great at rebounding. I didn't know who he was, apart from Brendan Schaub on The Fighter and the Kid talking about him loads. Yeah, so but he's a great rebounder, and he helped them do well. I like watching the story, knowing they're going to win the championship, just as a calming nature to it. But Rodman is like really aggressive, and he was on this Detroit Pistons team. You know, I know my teams, I know my stuff. Obviously, watching this documentary now, I'm an expert. But he was on this Detroit Pistons team. They were so aggressive and physical, and when they played Chicago Bulls, Rodman was on the Pistons team before he went to Bulls, and it was in the championship. It was the Eastern Conference playoff, Eastern Conference final before the NBA final. So they just had a plan to. It was called like the Jordan plan to shut him down, and the whole team was just trying to shut him down, and they were just doing tactics to just force him in certain directions and be really physical, and then if all else, and they thought if he's not in the air then we're okay, we just barge him around whilst he's on the floor, because we can do that. But when he's in the paint, the tactic was just to push him over, really, and just to be aggressive. Yeah, and they just really beat him up. And it's funny, Michael Jordan was like, I I hated them, and I still hate one of them to this day. Just beating each other up. And then obviously it worked, because Pistons went on to win the championship. Chicago Bulls were very good, but early on, Michael Jordan was able to score like 50-60 points against the Celtics team, which was one of the best teams of all time, and with Larry Bird. And even though he scored so many points, he still lost because the other teams were so good. So Michael Jordan by his own couldn't lift the team to the championship of the NBA, but he managed to lift the team and get Scottie Pippen and get Daniel Rodman and become a really good team and win the NBA 6 times. So it could have been that they won more, but it seems like it was The Last Dance. That's what this documentary is called, on Netflix. Give them a shout out. I love giving mainstream media shout out that have absolutely no need for my shout out, but it's not really a shout out, it's more of a recommendation to my fellow podcast listeners. So I just hope that I can collaborate, and I am going to. It's really exciting, on Monday I'm going to be on this American Sean and Andrew on their podcast. It's got 5 listeners. Very exciting. And I'm going to talk to them about my podcast, which is about nothing. I've got to... do I need to prepare? Make up some funny questions? I don't know. I've got to say stuff. It's my first collaboration. And I thought, oh no, the American time is going to be really late. It's going to be from 11 to 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just not going to be able to cope because my bedtime's usually like midnight. And I usually settle down and meditate before then. I've got a routine. But thanks to my friends that we talked to in the lockdown, which is pretty cool. Last night we played Cards Against Humanity in a drawing game. Thanks to them and the 4-hour phone call that was started at 10:30 for reasons unbeknown to the sanity of my being. My tiredness was just taken as a joke at that point. I went to bed at 3 a.m. and this Romanian went to bed at 5 a.m. because of the 2-hour time zone. And he just kept on saying, oh, you guys, you're fine. It's only 2 a.m. for you. You know, like, you're fine. It's not even late. And then I think it got to the end and he was like, oh yeah, it's nearly morning. It's just something clicks in your brain when it gets oh yeah, it's about to be light soon. I better go to bed. I don't know what it is. People think it's cool to be able to say, oh, it's not even that late. It's like, yeah, it's not late if you never plan on going to bed. But for those sane members of society who want a decent night's sleep and want to sleep, I don't know, 8+ hours, we want to go to bed in the evening when it's dark and wake up in the morning when it's light. I don't want to spend my night time as I did today in the daytime. Yeah, let's have that nice little bit of sleep for a couple of hours when it's dark, and then let's wake up at 7 a.m. to realise it's light time, and then realise, oh yeah, let's go back to sleep. I've only been asleep for 4 hours, and then next thing you know, I'm just waking up, going to sleep, waking up, going to sleep for the next 5 hours, and then I save myself scraping the last bit of the ice cream tub, so to speak, of my sleep together and get myself 9 hours sleep, and most of it was in the morning, in the daytime. Catastrophe. Chaos. So I've got to do more with my day, that's what I'm saying. Like, stay up to 3 a.m. playing games. It was really fun. And I think the Cards Against Humanity just puts you in a frame of mind where anything goes and jokes are funny, and you can you can make whatever jokes you like, really. So it's already been agreed what Cards Against Humanity is like, and then anything else goes. And then just some of the jokes I was coming out with was just a bit out there, and it's just like stand-up comedy. Not that I know, but I hear everyone talk about it on podcasts. And it's like, you bomb sometimes. You say something, no one laughs, and then sometimes I say something and I realise instantly, oh yeah, that's a bit weird, that's a bit out there, and you just got to live the line of this danger and be willing to say anything to get the laughs, because half the time you get the laughs and then it's worth it, and the laughs are, and if you don't try, you don't try, and then sometimes you say something and then like, oh, are you okay? I don't know if they actually say that, but they're thinking it, and like, oh, are you okay? Like, oh, did that really happen? Poor you. It's like, I was joking. Well, we didn't laugh, but we'll keep you in the chat because you've got a 50% success rate. And I don't know. I'm not an experienced friend talker. I'll be what a thing to say, but it's just I don't know. I did work, and after school, there's just not many opportunities to joke around. So having these communications is probably really valuable. Probably need to keep it up. I don't know if they were serious, but they were like 2 a.m. They were like, "Well, let's do this again. Speak to you later on today for another sleep annihilation." It's just binging on the sleep without consuming it in a way where you're actually asleep. Just eating into sleep, letting it die. And then I have a crisis when I'm sleeping because I'm like, oh, the sun rises. And when the sun rises and I haven't fallen asleep, something psychological happens and I can't sleep. When the sun rises, I give up. And it hasn't happened very much in my life. Thank you very much. Routine. But when it has happened, marshmallow monsters eat into my life and remove my hope. I just can't cope with sleeping when it's light time. So yeah, we've got a situation on hand here. We've got different things happening. We've got this podcast going out to different podcasting platforms. And I hope it's on a few at the moment, and they're just working on it. It took me 2 hours to upload 41 episodes. And obviously doing one at a time doesn't take very long, but it's just such a dodgy website I was using. So many ads. Convert the YouTube into MP3 and then try and salvage the file that you've just converted and download it, and then do that 41 times and have like 500 billion, maybe like 140. You know, I thought 500 is too much. Let's say billion. Yeah, just lots of pop-up ads is what I'm trying to say. There are a lot of pop-up ads to find my way through. And I think I'm a valuable asset to this Cards Against Humanity because I say I'm willing to say stuff. I'm willing to bomb half the time. I don't know if people call it bombing or people just think it's saying something weird. But there we go. I've got no one to bounce off. When you have a lack of social contact for a couple of years, you've got no one to bounce off. Or maybe I've always been like this. But you've just come in there with the weird, dark sense of humour, and yeah. But when you, I don't know whether I should think like this. Like, we're just talking, we're having fun, we make each other laugh. But when you hit a joke, when you say something funny, and then everyone's laughing, there's no feeling quite like it. And obviously, it's not gonna happen again. Because I'll get confidence and just lose my sense of humour. But it's going to be... And then the worst thing is that when you joke around and then you try and insult someone and then you just take it a little bit too far and it's like, ouch. You're lucky if they say, oh, ouch. because they recognise it's a burn, but when they just stay silent and they're like, and then we're like, oh Peter, you didn't really mean that, did you? Because that's a poor reflection of your personality, and you are 2 jokes away from losing your social contact during this coronavirus lockdown time. So it's just exciting to think that I can do this podcasting, and it's a YouTube video, and then it's going to go out to 10 different podcasting networks. I don't know if I've called them networks, they're just apps, and people can find me, and obviously in likelihood no one will find me, but 10 more platforms to be on gives me hope. But a lot of my podcasts are just me talking about coronavirus. Has anything changed? Well, I'm talking about cryptocurrency. I was just reading the news. I thought that was the thing to do, but at least it got me in the habit. It got me in the swing of podcasting, and that's helpful. Get me into the routine, and now I've perfected the art. I've crafted my 40-minute episodes into just pure magic, and it's just a good laugh, and there's an upward trend. And sometimes you have the realization, like I just did, oh yeah, I'm now on YouTube and I need to say stuff. Didn't have that realization for 30 minutes. But it's just like, oh yeah, I'm on the podcast now, and if I stop talking, then the podcast will be silent. And oh well, what are you gonna do? Some things imperfect, like some of the podcasts, you just press play and it's like, I don't know, bad audio quality or something. People talking in the background, and then second 7 into the podcast, hello, welcome to the Peter Repeater. Should be second 1, should be instantaneous. But obviously we're working out the technical difficulties. I'm not sure if I'll ever start a podcast on time, at the start, because I'm just saying, go live, and then I'm looking at my laptop, which is over there, which I try not to look at, and then it says go live, and then I turn my head. So at the start of every podcast, I presume that I'm looking in the wrong direction. That's okay. Unbeknown to the viewer, I take the drastic journey and venture into the centre of my neck position and just twist the head. So, stand-up comedy, eh? Well, I don't know. I've just got to I've got nowhere to do open micing, but obviously give it a try. I just watch podcasts. I'm just like a sponge. Whatever I'm watching, I just get into. Like I got into Rubik's cubing and stuff like that, and I was learning algorithms. And then now I'm into podcasting, and all the people who've got good podcasts are comedians. So obviously, I want to go on to other people's podcasts and be a comedian, and bring write a book and go onto the podcast. Obviously, things are changing, are they? Anyway, it's a documented repertoire of what Peter said, and if I do this for 10 years, and even if no one watches, I will be on so many platforms, I'll be all over the internet, that there'll be a documentation, a real time. I'm trying to just get some dignity out of this failing podcast, but I've got some real-time footage of what Peter was like as a person, and if I die in a car crash when I'm 30, people can look back and think, what a national treasure. And I'm not sure if you can be a national treasure without any critical acclaim or people watching you, but they'll just watch me and he talked, he sat down, and he just embodied this presence of podcasting, powerful, I don't know. He was just an embodiment of podcasting, legendary. And he will forever live in the memory of the greats, such as Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, you know, can't think of anyone else right now, but just worldwide superstars. And I'll just have the ceremony, you know, on my deathbed, maybe if I'm lucky, and people will give me that gold medal around my neck, and we'll have a celebration of the podcasts, all 4,200. I can't do numbers. You don't need the and. All 4,207 of Peter's repeating the Peter Repeater. Joe Rogan's on episode 1460, something like that, and I am the Fire and the Kid are like 1550 something. No, I said that wrong. The Fire and the Kid are only 550 something, but it's still 500, still a lot. And obviously, you can say it in the same breath, because I just did, but I just took a breath. The Fire and the Kid, Joe Rogan, the Peter Repeater. You could say that. Now I can breathe. You could say my podcast in the same breath as those great podcasts that I listen to. And then even like the comedians starting off, they have to build their channels, and after 100 episodes, they might have a few 100,000 subscribers. You have to work your way up to get millions, like Joe Rogan. But then podcasting is so much bigger than just YouTube. So like 8 million on subscribers on YouTube for Joe Rogan is a drop in the ocean compared to his reach on all the platforms. That would be me, obviously. Obviously, yeah. Say it with sincerity. So, you know, he has 100 million downloads a month, but he might have say 20, I don't know, 30, 40 million views on YouTube. So it's not all about the YouTube per month. Is more. So I've got this YouTube, and I like to think produce a high level quality and everything, but I use this dodgy ass website to convert from the video to MP3, but I've got no other way of doing it really. I don't know if that reduces the quality, if there is any quality. We're talking video audio quality, we're not talking, you know, content quality here. Let's be serious for a minute. Yeah. So yeah, I bet the producers of all the other shows, like Jamie on The Fire and the Kid, no, Jamie on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Chen and Kat on The Fire and the Kid, I bet those people record in like high definition and do all the editing in some sort of Adobe or Final Cut Pro, and then take the actual audio file, straight from their video editing software and make that into an MP3 and then upload that, and I bet that quality is way much better because you're actually taking the authentic video, the authentic audio from the microphones instead of like some sort of compressed, converted stuff from some dodgy website. But the listeners aren't to know. Oh wait, I just explained it. Right, so we've done 40 minutes. Very happy about that, and I'm happy I've done it today because I missed a day and it's easy not to do it. Thank you for this podcast. Find me on all the podcasts and on YouTube. I'm saying that now because I'm on YouTube. So, The Peter Repeater is the podcast. An Unbelievable God by Peter Newing is the book. Newing. Peter Newing. An Unbelievable God. There's my face. I've got my face already, but I'm on the back of the book as well. And then that's on Amazon. And Twitter at The Pete Repeater. Instagram at Peter Newing. And I'll be back for more podcasting. And I'm gonna be on another person's podcast, Winning Losers. I'll tweet that episode, so I'm going to be there on Monday hopefully, and then really hopefully I can get them to be on my podcast and we can have a video meeting on Zoom and it will be official and everything will be high quality. Okay, thank you for listening, thank you for watching episode 43. Till the next time, bye for now.